Coachman.
All right, Carter, thank you very much. Big win by GW. Hello, everybody. Jonathan Coachman here in the CSTV Fieldhouse. What a way to cap off the hoops for the afternoon. Congratulations to George Washington. Their big win over Marshall. Now it's time to get you out to Marquette, Michigan for some hockey. Ferris State leads the Wildcats 1-0. Here's Jason Knapp and Troy Ward.
Here at the Barry Event Center in Marquette, Michigan. Ferris State and Northern Michigan. CCHA hockey action here on CSTV. First period underway. Aaron Lewicki with a goal for Ferris State. The Bulldogs for the second straight night here have struck first. A 1-0 advantage for the Bulldogs of Ferris State in the burgundy and gold. Northern Michigan in its home white with the green and gold trim. Jason Knapp and Troy Ward here. The Bulldogs only won one of their last 8 games, trying to assert themselves early here on the road tonight. Bateman in the corner. As you see, the big-time shot advantage for Ferris State, 10-3 thus far. Off the scrum of the corner, the Wildcats try to control, but Blake Riley dumps it around the point, not out. Northern Michigan keeps it in. Alan Dorich, his shot deflected into the netting, and we have another whistle.
Well, Northern Michigan Wildcats coach Walt Kyle is not afraid to put all 3 guys in down low, as you saw, Jason. One of the things that he believes in is pressure. And what he's trying to do is keep that constant pressure on the Ferris State in their own end. Basically, if you insert all 3 guys down there, you tighten up the space, allow yourself to play in tight quarters, and then they're kicking it back out to use a defenseman, which makes it very difficult to defend.
Saw Walt Kyle on that graphic, 4 straight 20-win seasons in his tenure here in Northern Michigan. He'll be hard-pressed to get to 20 this year. Only 8 thus far. Zanaboni covers up. And the Wildcats trying to get the equalizer, trailing Ferris State 1-0 early.
Horace had a cab business and wanted a website because he wanted people to be able to go online and make their reservations.
GoDaddy customer Shoshana Such.
It was important for people to be able to reserve their ride online and pay online. It's very simple. Horace's business is doing very well. Well, thanks to GoDaddy and their array of products, I can handle all of my client needs with one company.
Just go to www.godaddy.com/TV.
CSTV is the home of the Navy midshipman.
Boy, he is smooth from the outside.
A winning tradition.
Bullseye!
Passionate fans. Unforgettable moments.
The kick is up and it is goal!
The midshipmen play on CSTV. Goal again for Navy! Your ultimate destination for everything Navy.
You are watching NCAA hockey on CSTV.
Here in Marquette, Michigan, CCHA hockey on a Saturday night. Ferris State leading Northern Michigan here 1-0 in the first period. The only goal thus far. Aaron Lewicki did not play in the series opener last night. Still losing. He did tonight and paying off. The backhander for the freshman, his 3rd tally of the season. The only score thus far. Jason Knapp and Troy Ward here. Glad you could join us for NCAA hockey tonight here on CSTV. Both of these teams struggling somewhat in the first half of the season, but off the holiday break, they are out with a vengeance, diving into the meat of the CCHA conference schedule. Sherling, the Butcher forechecking. Pressure here for Alex Spezia as he gets thumped by Dusty Collins. This line with nice pressure for Northern. Ferris State takes it into the zone, but Butcher backtracking quite nicely to pick it off for the Wildcats. Troy, we talked about the ice surface here, Olympic-sized sheet of ice here at Northern Michigan, and the difference that has for the team, especially Ferris, maybe not used to playing on it as much.
Yeah, Ferris comes into this thing 0-4-1 after last night's loss on Olympic-sized ice sheet. Changes the angles for all your checking. Certainly changed the angles a lot for the goaltenders, and the timing of your breakouts and everything's a little off. Ferris, as we've seen so far, almost through 10 minutes, has been much better tonight after playing well again last night.
They're certainly making the adjustments out this morning for their pregame skate. And certainly trying to work out the kinks as they want to get back on track here tonight. Again, Derek McIntyre, just his third game of the season between the pipes for the Ferris State Bulldogs tonight, hoping to give his team a lift, and he's done his job thus far. Dumped in by Spezia. Selden tries to wheel it around the boards, but Van Kulen keeps it in. The Bombers back went down. Now a shot on the net deflected up. Zanaboni lost sight of it, but it went off the netting, and we'll have another face-off. At the point, a little bit of traffic in front here.
Yeah, Northern's done a good job of getting certainly in the way of a lot of shots, and that's deflected up off the defenseman Bobby Selden's hand, and it's up in the webbing. One of the things that's taken place with the shots 11-3 right now favoring Ferris is their discipline has been good, Jason. And that's one of the things Coach Bob Daniels talked about was, hey, if we're going to win hockey games, we got to be better disciplined. Coming into this series, they were the #1 penalized team in the CCHA.
And again, victimized last night. Northern Michigan 3 of 6 on the power play. Bob Daniels wanted to cut down the penalties. His team did last night, but the Cats still made the Bulldogs pay. Riley trying to circle in front of the net. Holds the puck, turns. Weak wrist shot there. Intercepted. Now a centering pass. Tipped away by Northern Michigan. But not out as the Bulldogs keep it in finally. Matt Manu. He of 3 assists in last night's series opener. Dumps it in and then retreats as the Wildcats make a line change.
No, and 2, Jason, you look back to last night's game here at the Berry Center. One of the things that Northern struggled in the first period, they had 2 shots throughout the whole first period. They haven't played that poorly, but they haven't generated again much here, and they didn't really generate last night until that power play.
Casey Haynes trying to hook up with Van Kulen on the cross-ice pass. Zanaboni gets a leg pad on it. And now Matt Siddle out of North Vancouver, British Columbia. Zooming into the zone. Siddle behind the net. Loses the handle. And Ferris State dumps it to center ice. Under 9 minutes to go here. First period in the CCHA on CSTV. Eric Vesely giving chase. Checking Selden. Santarelli escapes. Wheels up to the side, and Dusty Collins will try to elude his man, but a good job by Van Kulen to separate player from puck. And now Ferris State comes back the other way. Rydell trying to send one on net, blocked. And scooped up by Rob Layton.
Robbie Layton there, he wants to get his feet going. He's a world-class skater. Played in the USHL in Waterloo back a few years ago, and he's a great, great skater. And doesn't score a lot, but can really move.
Well, after that opening flurry, Northern seems to have sort of closed the gap somewhat and control here in this first period.
Now they're taking control. They're getting their feet moving a little bit more, and one of the things that they are better at is they're better in their transitional passes. So they're going from defense to offense much quicker, and that's allowing them to get down the ice.
Well, the puck hopped over the head of Bombers back, just lost sight of it. Northern able to send it up the boards and out of the zone. Now Conley works it across the line, trying to get it back. Lost his footing along the boards, and Northern one more time will race up. Wildcats, though, for all this good puck movement, only 3 shots so far in the period. Now one here in front, and Sigmund couldn't find the net, tipped it wide. A counterattack chance here for Ferris State. 3-on-3. Centering pass blocked away. And in the corner, Sigmund giving chase.
Great sticks there on the whole defensive side of the whole thing. They didn't allow anything to the middle of the rink. Did a nice job there in transition.
Blair Riley gets it ahead for Lewicki, the goal scorer. loses it in his skates. And Northern pushing up. I mentioned the Wildcats snapped the 7-game losing streak last night, their longest in the Walt Kyle era. As McIntyre covers up, so far pitching the shutout for Ferris State with a 1-0 lead on Northern.
Hanging out with some people, now I realize I shouldn't have. The work was so hard. It was just going fast.
I got kicked out of school, and nobody cared about me, so I don't care.
I sort of got messed up into gangs and other stuff. School was very difficult.
I was expelled from school.
I mean, the one person who really got me to go back into school was my friend Kevin.
At my friend's graduation, I'm going to be the loudest one there.
Because if you don't have anybody while you're in school, then there's not really a way to get through it.
College sports all the time.
CSTV, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports, is the class of the field in America's college sports.
Riaga on the way. Got it. Inside they score. Call touchdown. Fighting. Sing. Goal. Boston College.
I love college sports.
Thank you, CSTV. Thank you.
Show some school spirit. Call your cable or satellite provider and ask for CSTV.
A look at the 2003 National Coach of the Year. Bob Daniels led the Bulldogs that year to a CCHA title here in Michigan, a state that is hockey proud. Count them out. 8 Division I hockey schools in all in the state of Michigan. Northern Michigan and Ferris State, 2 of that octet, but not the most for this state. As you'll see, New York, Massachusetts, each with 10 apiece Division I hockey schools, tied for the most D1 schools in hockey. But certainly Michigan proud, and they love their hockey, especially up here in the Upper Peninsula in Marquette.
They certainly do, and they got college Division I up here. You've got a junior A team up here, and you've got a AAA midget team up here. So you've got plenty of hockey right in Marquette.
Good chance in front for Sirota, but McIntyre there. Sauer along the boards, back to the point. Selden will let it fly. Easy stick save for McIntyre.
Maybe an adjustment that Bob Daniels and the Bulldogs will want to make in between periods is once Northern's got control down the offensive zone, they've always brought it back out to strong side point for a quick shot. Eventually, that's going to lead to problems.
Chance here for Santarelli. 15 goals in the season. Not 16 that time, but he will draw the penalty. A slash against Ferris State. Now the Wildcats will go on the power play.
Well, good transition hockey to go tape to tape. Then you put your best player in action coming through the neutral zone there and right over the line, gets a shot off, draws the slash. Again, McIntyre, who's been strong the whole game through about the first 15 minutes, only saw 6 shots to this point, Jason, but he's been under control. He's a V-drop goalie, meaning he drops down to both knees, takes up a lot of net.
See Joe Van Kulen in the box for 2 minutes for the slash. And now Northern on the power play. Around 20%. Ferris State on the penalty kill. But again, Northern 3 of 6 on the man advantage last night. And the power play certainly got the Wildcats back in the game and gave them the advantage. Santarelli stopped but gets it back. Almost out. It is out. Offside is the call as the puck came over the line and then back in.
Well, interesting power play setup there, and that's all about videotape. That's watch and do your homework, meaning that's for Walt Kyle right there in the picture. You know, he did a great job. He put almost both guys all the way over on the right side and then moved it over to his best player on the left side for the one-timer. Unfortunately, for the most part, those shots didn't get through. But you can tell he's setting up Santarelli to score that goal.
Now we've got a whistle here on the side. And offside one more time.
So now, you know, as you go in after the first here in 4 minutes and 23 seconds, Bob Daniels drawing up a play right now for one of his penalty killers. He's saying, Coach, what am I supposed to do? Just let him shoot that? So it'll be a punch, counter punch here in between periods to see if Walt comes back out and does the same thing. And then more importantly, Bob Daniels and the Bulldogs, how are you going to respond?
Manu again, dumping it in. Pat Bateman will give chase. Sauer Try to get it to Sirota. Good hustle work from Pearson. But the Cats keep it in.
Now Darren Oliver's back playing the left point as a forward.
And now we've got a cross check there. And that's going to cost Ferris State. Good chance here for Northern Michigan. They'll have a two-man advantage for 54 seconds.
Well, Zach Pearson there is a little bit over aggressive. Obviously, you're down here. You're trying to battle. One of the things you don't want to do is push from behind. You want to either put your stick between his legs, neutralize his hands a little bit, and that's a tough play. It's one of those adrenaline-type penalties where you're trying to get possession of the puck and make the clear. The adrenaline went a little too far. But that just goes, Jason, back. Bob Daniels said, hey, let's be aggressive and make penalties. That's one of them.
We'll see what they can do with a 5-on-3 here. Sirota. Tamanu. Back to Sirota. Over on the side. Kicked away by Adam Welch. 35 seconds still in the two-man advantage. The Bulldogs trying to hold shape defensively. Quick shot there from Sirota. That was blocked in front by a diving Welch. Manu. Oliver tees it up one more time, and Welch pays the price again for Ferris State.
Well, Adam Welch is their captain. And it's just a great effort. You can see that once it goes back up top, he lines up and lays right down in front of that thing. What more could you ask for out of your captain? Speaking of being a captain, he's in his second year. And he's only a junior, so he's a rare guy that'll be a 3-year captain in college hockey. That's impressive.
That one deflected out by Welch again, off the netting, and we'll have another face-off.
Northern's problem isn't scoring, it's getting it by Welch. Once they can get it by him, they might be able to maybe score. You don't know, but they can't get it by him right now. And the guy out of Hastings, Minnesota, played junior hockey for Wichita Falls. And talking to the coach this week down there, Brian Meisner said just one of the best players he's ever coached. He said just a tremendous three-sport athlete. You can see it.
Shot there. McIntyre got a piece. Two-man advantage is over, but still a power play situation for Northern Michigan for another minute. Santarelli wheels and sends it deeper into the zone. Siddle tied up by Sherlink. Kicked out to the point. And now we've got another stoppage. As Siddle hit the deck, helmet off, and he's covered up. There will be a penalty on Sherlink as he heads to the box.
Yeah, they go at it pretty good down there. That's two big boys right there. Actually becoming men real quickly in that kind of a battle right there, and that's the type of hockey you want out of both your players. That's what we call a good old scrum, and that's a hard scrum right there.
We'll see if Siddle is also penalized as well. Nope, he's headed back to the bench. So another two-man advantage here for Northern Michigan, this time for 48 seconds. That's what's left on the penalty right now to Zach Pearson of Ferris State. And then 2 minutes to Jeremy Sherlink. So again, Northern Michigan with another opportunity to capitalize and tie up this game. You see the Bulldogs have been one of the top teams most penalized. They bit them last night on the power play, but Northern hasn't been able to dent the net on the man advantage thus far. Right now a two-man advantage for another 26 seconds. Sirota at the point. Blocked in front. Guess who got a piece of that one? Welch one more time.
Well, one of the things that Northern's got to do is they've got to let the puck do the work, Jason, meaning you've got to pass it. It's not a pass and hold. It's a pass to the back door.
Chance of the short side there. McIntyre read it.
And they're set up where they've got Oliver on the one side going across the Santarelli.
Oliver maybe tried to take a little too long to load up the wrister that time, and McIntyre stopped it. Pearson out of the box, but a minute left on the power play for Northern Michigan. Chance at the side of the net, extra pass in front, and Northern couldn't put it home.
Well, Mr. Bateman had a good shot and tight there, but it was tight. McIntyre has taken the whole low part of the net away, and that's given him fits.
41 seconds left of this man advantage. Van Kulen gets a piece in front. Finally, the Wildcats on the rebound. Mike Santarelli, his 16th goal of the season that ties him for first again among the goal leaders in the CCHA.
Well, Jason, you look to your big guys to do the score, and they get a good carom. It comes right back out to Santarelli there. Mike sees it, and I think this goes off of somebody in tight. I'm not sure if it's Bateman or if it's off the defenseman, Van Kulen. But McIntyre didn't see it, and it snuck by him on the short side, or it went between his body and his glove and his body right there. But somehow his reaction was like, where did that come from? And it was off of carom. But again, if you're Northern Michigan, Walt Kyle's team, you're looking at your big gun to get it done, and he certainly did.
Mike Santarelli had 15 goals all of last year, and he's now exceeded it just starting the second half of the season here in 2006-2007. Just a wonderful scoring effort for the junior from Burnaby, British Columbia. 6th-round pick of the Nashville Predators in 2004. One of 9 draft picks on this Northern Michigan squad. That's second among teams in the CCHA.
Yeah, and you look to that, you look at certainly the Kyle brothers, meaning John Kyle, the assistant, Walt. Certainly Walt with a lot of NHL experience, so he's got the ties to those guys at that level. And the other part about that is they're a big hockey team, which really lends itself to having drafted players.
Sigmund with the steal. That's blocked by Case. And the Cats dump it back in the zone. It's onside, but the Bulldogs bring it out right away. Lowicki. As Sigmund has been active here in this first period for Northern Michigan.
No, it's interesting. Walt Kyle talked about this line right here, with Sigmund's line being their best line over the stretch where they had the slide. They were typically their 4th line, but they've been really, really good. They weren't great last night, but he said every game all year they've gotten better, and they're back on track. You can see tonight Sigmund's been a factor in the first period.
Under 10 seconds to go here in this first period. 1-1 the score between Ferris State and Northern Michigan. We'll have plenty of halftime and intermission thoughts here in a moment from Marquette, Michigan. But as we see the teams head to the locker room, we're going to head to the field house in New York. Jonathan Coachman standing by for a Game Tracker Live update. 1-1 the score here in the first period intermission. Jonathan in New York, take it away.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Great first period action. More to come in just a little bit. But it's a big night in the CCHA Conference. 2 top 10 teams are facing off in Oxford, Ohio. The first place Miami Redhawks hosting Michigan State for the 2nd straight night. The Hawks beat the Spartans on Friday 5-2. Could they make it 2 in a row in successive nights? Let's take you to the pictures. Second period, no score. Spartans on the power play. Tyler Howes walks in and shoots the wrister. That's denied by Charlie Effinger, but then Brian Kaufman coming out of the box alone on the break. He beats Jeff Lurg. And right now, second intermission, Miami clinging to a 1-0 lead in Oxford. Elsewhere, number 17, Lake Superior State. Well, they're trailing Nebraska-Omaha right now. They're also at the second intermission. They trail 1-0 to Nebraska-Omaha. Lots more to come, including more hockey highlights, and we're only a couple of days away from the BCS National Championship game on the gridiron. When we come back, we'll check in with our crew hanging out in Glendale, Arizona. Stick around. Game Track, New York City. We're coming back.
How long is this thing?
I don't know.
Now, come on, get to the good stuff.
Oh, stop. There it is.
Oh, that's it.
Wait, here it comes. Nice. Look at that.
I could watch that all day.
One more time?
Sure.
You're watching CSTV.
The storm is coming. Storm Launcher, the insane all-terrain vehicle from Air Hogs, dominates any terrain in its path. blazing speed on concrete, grass, sand, even snow. And it flies. Storm Launcher rips from land to water and up to the skies. This is the only RC that does it all. Now you've got the power and you're in control. Drifting turns, wild jumps, go from land to water, and then take it to the skies. Awesome aerial stunts are amazing. Other RC planes that fly like this can cost hundreds of dollars. But you can get the all-terrain Storm Launcher with the LiPo battery. And we'll also include our brand new Air Hogs flight simulator that you can use on your PC. All this for 3 payments of $39.95. Storm Launcher is the only RC that does it all. Must be 18 years or older to call or log on.
To order your Storm Launcher, you can call 1-800-509-1883. That's 1-800-509-1883. You must be 18 or older to order.
This month on DirecTV pay-per-view, Pride Fighting Championships, Shockwave 2006, featuring Pride's undefeated heavyweight champion, Fedor Emelianenko. Also, the fighter that strikes fear in the heart of champions, Pride's Vanderlei Silva. Shockwave 2006, playing this month on DirecTV pay-per-view.
Welcome back to the Field House here in New York City. You know, every group is a reflection of its leader. In sports, the team reflects its coach. And as we go out to Arizona with the Florida Gators, the players on the SEC champions exemplify their coach, Urban Meyer, a measure of intensity and family.
Adam Zucker here in Glendale, Arizona. Much being made of how quickly the Florida Gators under Urban Meyer have arrived at the BCS National Championship game in just the coach's second year. Many people cite the coach's intensity and organization, but when we talk to the players, they said it's because of the feeling of family that he's instilled ever since he arrived in Gainesville.
I think Coach Meyer does a great job in teaching everything and relating to the players. He does such a good job, and so everybody feels really close to him, and no matter what he says, everybody can take it to the bank and just has a really close relationship with him. So I think that brings everybody else, makes everybody else a lot closer.
He really focused on family and talking about how we got to get involved with the coaches' family and their kids and everything, and that helped us out. It brought us closer.
It's very intense. He has an intense approach, and if you don't like the program he's running, then he's going to kick you out. You're going to be gone. So if you're not on the ship, then you're off.
It's a program based on extreme hard work. I mean, I know all other program, everybody works hard, but we set a standard, and if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. And we make that as clear as we can, early as we can, and kids want to win. Players want to win. And I think if you paint the picture of them, this is how you're going to win, and be real clear with it, our guys have bought in.
Coach Meyer's big on us being accountable for one another and depending on one another to get our jobs done. That's what everybody is really focused on, is knowing how hard the other guy next to you works, and it's just being accountable for him.
If we become a family, it's kind of hard to beat us. As far as being separated, anybody could beat a separated family. Like, we always compare it to a fist, really. If you ball up and make a fist, I mean, that's a huge impact. It's a lot stronger than a slap.
We keep no secrets. We close with everybody, and we love each other. We don't play for just ourselves. We play for this whole team, and we're just trying to bring this family closer with the national championship.
And that close-knit family feeling, it extends across the sidelines here in Glendale. Coach Tressel and Meyer, both from Ohio, both mentored by Earl Bruce at Ohio State. And Tressel even sent his youngest son to Meyer's football camp, and his son swam in Meyer's pool. I'd say they know each other. In Glendale, Adam Zucker for CSTV.
Thanks, Adam, for complete coverage of Florida and Ohio State. Keep it tuned right here to CSTV. Starting 7 p.m. on Monday, it's the National Championship edition of Crystal Ball presented by Xbox Live. Join Greg Amsinger, Brian Jones, Brian Curtis, Trev Alberts with updates from Adam Zucker in Arizona. More hockey highlights when Game Tiger Live continues after the break. We are tied at 1 in the first intermission.
60-inch screen, high definition. Football season is coming up. You can watch it right here. What do you think?
I'll take it.
Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're right. I don't need it.
know the game.
The moment they called my name, I was in disbelief.
They love the game.
I was going to make sure that I was the best player, not on my team, not in the big team, but the entire country.
They are the game. This year, the biggest names in the college sports world are coming to CSTV. Watch 1-to-1, presented by TIAA Cref, an in-depth interview with Eddie George. Premieres tomorrow at 9, only on CSTV.
More NCAA hockey on CSTV next Friday night as the Golden Gophers take on the defending national champions, the Wisconsin Badgers. Puck's set to drop in Madison at 8 p.m. Eastern next Friday, right here, CSTV. More highlights from tonight: New Hampshire at Vermont, second period, still scoreless. UNH attacking. Jerry Polstrom takes the shot. It's blocked, but Trevor Smith is there for the follow, and he makes good on the goal. 1-0 Wildcats. Moments later, Vermont would answer. Chris Myers breaking away from the pack. He takes the shot. Kevin Regan saves, but Cullen Box is there with the backhander. Tied at 1 as we start the third period of play, just moments into the third period. And the third-ranked Maine Black Bears pick up a win against the Riverhawks 5-2. Teddy Purcell led the team with 2 goals and an assist, while Maine's 6'7" goalie, Ben Bishop, had 42 saves on the day. That's right, 6'7" goalie, 2 saves on the day. Elsewhere, Northeastern and Boston University still scoreless as they continue play tonight in the third period. Well, that's going to do it from the Fieldhouse here in New York. Second period action coming up right after the break from Marquette, Michigan. We'll see you in just a little bit. Enjoy second period, folks.
'60-inch screen, high definition. Football season is coming up. You can watch it right here. What do you think?
I'll take it.
Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're right. I don't need it.
CSTV is the place for all of your BCS National Championship coverage before and after the game is played.
That's what we do on this show, better than anyone else.
Get closer to the game than ever before with Greg, Brian, Trev, and Brian.
Can't believe I agree with you on so many picks. I'm going to have to go home and take a shower.
They know football.
They will make you work the entire way down the field and wait for you to make a mistake.
Watch Crystal Ball's BCS National Championship pre- and post-game show presented by Xbox Live. Monday at 7, only on CSTV.
CSTVFanstore.com is the ultimate store for the college sports fan. With over 30,000 items from virtually every school, FanStore is the perfect place for holiday shopping. Go to fanstore.com today and get free shipping on all orders over $50. Just enter the code MyCSTV to receive this limited time offer. CSTVFanstore.com, the ultimate store for college sports fans.
Well, for the second straight night here at Berry Event Center, Ferris State played one period. Each scored 1 goal, 1-1 here between the first and second periods. Jason Knapp and Troy Ward excited to have the CCHA on CSTV tonight. Let's bring in Zach Pearson of Ferris State, the Bulldogs. Zach, you guys came out with a lot of jump, a lot of fight there in the early going. The way things have been going, has it been hard to keep up the emotions for you guys at this point of the season?
Yeah, definitely. It's been tough. We're not getting the wins the way we would expect, but I think we're still playing good hockey, just not getting bounces. We just want to come out tonight and play physical and try to play our game.
Zach, during the course of that first period, again, the game started the same as last night. Did you guys make some adjustments prior to tonight's game, after last night's game? It seemed like tonight you came out, had a great start again. When your team stays out of the box, you're a very good hockey team. When you don't, it's caused you problems.
Yeah, that's 2 things we wanted to emphasize tonight. We wanted to come out and be physical, which I thought we did. But the second thing was we want to stay out of the box, and we definitely didn't do that the last 5 minutes of that period. And as you can see, they got a goal off of it.
All right, Zach, thank you very much. Best of luck the rest of tonight.
All right, thank you.
Zach Pearson, the goal leader, point leader for Ferris State, trying to lead his team to victory here tonight on the road at Northern Michigan.
You're watching CSTV.
Code White, do you copy?
Copy that.
Hey!
Need a lift?
Yeah, good thing I have Esurance. I can report a claim 24/7.
But he'll never get his car repaired out here.
Not true. With its direct repair program, Esurance can always find you a reliable body shop.
But what if he had his own body shop?
At Esurance, it's your choice. If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Save on 24/7 claim service. Visit esurance.com today.
There are moments when fresh breath really matters. Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Dorfman, the dentist from Extreme Makeover. For real fresh breath when you need it most, I recommend BreathRx gum and mints. It doesn't just cover up bad breath. BreathRx has Zytex, clinically proven to kill bad breath bacteria.
It's dentist recommended.
BreathRx, the science of fresh breath.
At last, no more cover-ups.
BreathRx gum and mints, available at these stores.
This month on DirecTV pay-per-view, Pride Fighting Championships, Shockwave 2006, featuring Pride's undefeated heavyweight champion, Fedor Emelianenko. Also, the fighter that strikes fear in the heart of champions, Pride's Vanderlei Silva. Shockwave 2006, playing this month on DirecTV pay-per-view.
Ferris State with a goal in the first 2 minutes of the game. Northern Michigan with a goal in the last 2 minutes of the first period. And that's where we stand, 1-1 as we get set to start the second period here. Jason Knapp, Troy Ward, and boy, Ferris State Troy came right out and got after it right away against Bill Zanaboni and the Wildcats of Northern Michigan.
Well, Jason, as you mentioned, they certainly did. And it started with a defenseman shot out front, all kinds of traffic in front. And there he is, the young man who didn't play last night, Aaron Lewicki. Then we pick up with a big hit, D-to-D. And there's one of the better players last night, Conley there, and that big save there by number 5. He comes sliding through there, Mr. Tarker, and makes a great save. And then we pick up the play here. The Sandarelli picks up the rebound. And we got a 1-1 hockey game late.
Now here's the numbers through the first 20 minutes thus far. Shots evened out, hits evened out, but the power plays, the penalties, again a difference. Ferris State giving up 3 penalties in the final 5 minutes, leading to 2 5-on-3s. Ferris was able to work off the 5-on-3s, but Northern Michigan did score in the power play there to get the equalizer. And you could sense the momentum shifting big time there in the final 5.
Yeah, you could, Jason, and that's the one adjustment I'm sure they talked about is, again, their discipline. And cost them late in the period.
Again, the Bulldogs, one of the most penalized teams of the CCHA. Great chance for the Wildcats in the first couple of seconds of the second period, but Ulver couldn't get a handle on it, and he had an open piece of the net.
Well, Sauer made a great pass there. McIntyre was out of position.
Sauer with a shot. Now a rebound check. Flips it wide. Ulver giving chase. And Rydell sends it towards the edge of the zone, but not out. Kept in by Sauer.
Well, good first shift here by Northern Michigan in the Ulver line.
Rydell has it blocked to the line by Dortch. Now a chance here for Connolly. He shoots and scores! Brendan Connolly, a spark plug, and once again, early in a period, Ferris State dents the net. That's got to be a mind blower for Walt Kyle for his team to give up another early goal in a period.
Well, Brendan Conley gets the fortune of a good bounce here, and it comes over, and he beats him to the far side. And we just saw him in the highlights as we opened the period. I thought last night, and I talked to the coach, I thought he was one of the best players on the ice last night. Coach Daniels agreed, and he picks up a big-time goal for Ferris, because if they're going to come out of this slump, Jason, they need to continue to forge forward and be in the lead in this hockey game.
5th of the season for Connolly, a sophomore from Canmore, Alberta. Only 5'6", but he is a feisty competitor on the ice, and he certainly has been a guy that has made this team go the last couple of nights.
Well, he played up in Brooks for the Bandits in the Alberta Junior Hockey League.
Chance here for Santarelli. Spinning in, but McIntyre handles it. And now some discussion, little get-together. Some of the Wildcats and Bulldogs. You know, cats and dogs don't get along, right?
Exactly. And they shouldn't. They're both battling for a big-time spot in the CCHA final, or in the standings right now, and you know, and they don't play again. The other part about this whole series is there's a lot of points at stake this weekend because they don't play again as we look at the standings.
And you look at it, Miami, by virtue of a win last night against Michigan State, pulling even with Notre Dame atop the CCHA. Ferris State, Northern Michigan down there towards the bottom. But again, they can get into maybe that 7 or 8 spot with a strong second half. They can get a home first-round playoff game, and then after that, okay, anything can happen.
You're exactly right, Jason. Anything can happen.
Now a giveaway. Santarelli leaves it, and in pipe is hit by Siddle. Oh, good chance for Northern Michigan. Santarelli spotted an open teammate, but Matt Siddle gets victimized by the iron. Lewicki sliding in, loses the handle. Santaboni, quick reflexes there to keep it out.
Oh, great save in tight, great save in tight. Those are the ones that change the tempo of the game, and that's what you need your goalie to do.
It looked like Lewicki had just lost control of the puck and all of a sudden got a piece and flicked it on. Santaboni had to stop it. Both of these goalies with close calls here in the last few seconds.
Well, yeah, he gets his best friend makes the save there for him, and there's Lewicki cuts to the inside on T.J. Miller. Zamboni has to come down and make a great save low.
That was actually a Northern Michigan player that tipped that puck onto Zamboni, so friendly fire almost did in the Wildcats there, but it remains 2-1 Ferris State.
Here's where, too, Jason, you know, after each of the goals that Ferris has scored early in both periods, you've seen, you've got to look at Wildkyle on the bench. He's going to carry this team. Like, it's his personality that's got to bring this team out of this funk. And you could sense where he's at.
Certainly frustration. High hopes for this Northern Michigan squad coming in to maybe finish near the top of the CCHA, but you know, the inconsistency in talking to some of the folks around the program, it's just you kind of never know when it's coming. You get blindsided. They give up goals at the worst times, and first 2 minutes of a period is certainly a bad time every time it happens.
Well, it's especially twofold when you look at the records with both teams at this current position in the year. You know, Ferris gives them up late. Northern's giving them up early in periods. And those are times you don't want to be giving up goals.
Now we've got a whistle here. Welch and Dorich going after it. And the call is going to go against the Wildcats.
Now we get a look. You get Dorich coming over there to be physical, and then he holds them. And the guy he's holding and pushing back there is a defenseman. And that's the least of his concerns as a defenseman at that point. It isn't like Adam Welsh is going to come off the wall and walk into the net. So not a heads-up play there by Allen, and by any means. Allen wants to just hit, pin, and release.
Now the freshman from Orland Park, Illinois, had an assist in last night's 4-1 win. See Ferris State with a second opportunity on the man advantage. Misfired in its first attempt. Good chance there. The tip, though, stopped in front. Bulldogs keep possession. Behind the net. It's lost, and the Wildcats will push it out. Over. Headed up ice. Spinning out of the way by the Ferris State defense.
Interesting thing that, Jason, that the Bulldogs do in Ferris State is that Mark Bommersback plays behind the goal line. For a big-time goal scorer, it's funny that he's always back there for me. Obviously, he can pass and get the puck to different players, but that's an awful tough spot for a big-time goal scorer to be there.
And now the power play is going to go away for Northern Michigan. Zach Tarker going to get called and whistled here for the foul on Brendan Connolly.
Yeah, and that's an easy call for the official. Northern's kind of unraveling here a little bit to start the second in terms of their discipline. Very similar to the way Ferris State ended up the first. And we saw last night here, you know, even though the game wasn't obviously on TV, but we saw Ferris move the puck very well in the second on the power play. And we'll see if they can pick it up here on a 5-on-3.
A two-man advantage right now for Ferris State. We'll see if they can do what Northern Michigan couldn't do in the first period. That's capitalize on a 5-on-3. Case at the point along with Van Kulen. Looking to hit the man in the slot, that's Rydell. Tracks back to Case.
Talk about confidence. Matt Case didn't even play last night. He's out on the 5-on-3.
Yeah, freshman in a big spot here. Pearson loses his skates, hits the deck, and the Wildcats knock it down the ice.
And the guy that's got to come unglued here a little bit, they're trying to set him up as Dan Rydell. He's a former, CCM Player of the Year in the USHL for the Lincoln Stars, and they want to get him on track. He didn't have any shots in the first. So look to him to get the puck.
And remember the All-CCHA rookie team last year. Now a chance, side of the net. Zanaboni with one stop, rebound, hops around. The Wildcats push it away for a moment. Puck flying in the air, now sent back on the net. One man out of the box for Northern, and we finally got a stoppage. Still 45 seconds left on the minor penalty to Tarker.
Well, that's one, it's early. Obviously, there's over, half of this game left right now, Jason. But at the fact, that's a monumental time. When you have a little over a minute of a 5-on-3 and you don't really cash in, you're on the road. In the CCHA, that's where you got to make your case.
Welch. Sherling fanned on his first attempt. Now sets it behind the net. Tipped in front and chipped in. Connolly gets another goal. Back-to-back tallies for Brendan Connolly.
Well, we've had just the opposite, too. We had a red light come on in one end, single goal, and there wasn't a goal, and no light came on this time, and it was a goal. So we get a look here, but that's the way it is in hockey. A lot of you don't cash in the 5-on-3. A great pass by Bombers back from behind. Just a no-look, and he just chips it right over the shoulder, the near shoulder on that side of Zanaboni there, and there's Conley's second of the game, and he's picked right up where he left off last night for me. And you look at Walt Kyle, and he is not looking real happy right now. In fact, he's going to make some major changes here pretty quick.
Well, Walt Kyle certainly not happy with what has transpired here tonight. Most notably, the 2 goals his team has given up here in the first 5 minutes plus of the second period. And now Ferris State keeps on buzzing. Matt Verdoni takes it into the zone. Now a nice lead feed for Santarelli. Swooping in, hits the post, knocked it in with his body. Will it count? Yes, it will. Mike Santarelli. Connolly with his second of the game. Well, that's the way to answer a tally from your opposition. Breaking right back, and a wonderful headman pass for Santarelli.
Oh, what a great pass by Tarker. What a great move. Gets the post. There's the foot. Obviously, if you're Ferris, you're saying that was intentionally kicked in, but that's not going to stand up. Just a great play by a great goal scorer going to the net there, and it trickles by the line. Not much you can do if you're McIntyre. He's coming full speed.
You're allowed to redirect it in with your skate, but you can't make a kicking motion. Question is, would you characterize that, what we saw as a kicking motion?
That'll be interesting. For me, it wasn't from up here at that angle, and we're in a pretty good position here in the Barrie Center.
Well, they're going to go to the videotape right now and review this play. Derek McIntyre certainly would like to see it wiped off the board as he looks to get his first victory of the season. Here's Santarelli moving in. Great move to find the opening, and then to kick or not to kick?
Well, that to me is a real judgment call. I mean, that's a judgment call. It depends on what they say is kicking. That's a momentum right there. If they see the toe, and obviously he makes a little bit of a movement with his toe towards the puck. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of different looks where our truck has done a great job, and our camera people have done an outstanding job here tonight for CSTV on these looks. So, we're getting a good look. Now it's going to go back really to a judgment. You can see down there it's going to be, to me, I think they're going to call it a goal, but it'll be interesting to see.
Well, Kevin Hall had a look at it, and he'll wave it off. And Bob Daniels, Walt Kyle, both a little bit stunned at the reaction.
Well, and you can see Walt, he's such a professional. He's been around the game. He's coached at every level. He's like, hey, the thing he'll take from that is good things are happening for our team all of a sudden. But what a great pass. You know, and then you got a right-handed guy who's patient, cuts to his forehand, and right there, they're taking this toe action, I believe, right here, right there, and saying that was the kicking motion. So I suppose they're saying if he just drags it and the toe doesn't move at all, it's no goal. In that case, and it's a judgment call. But the good thing about college hockey right now is they're reviewing these things.
It is, but in the case of Santarelli, it's hard to tell your body to not go after the puck. And as a forward, that's your sole goal, is to go after it.
Exactly. And when you've scored as many as he has in his career already, he's looking for his 17th there, whether it was toe, blade, or whatever, and he scores them. And he found a way. So give him credit. It was a great effort.
And give credit, too, to the pass to Tarker. Had the penalty a moment ago. Came out of the box and made a beauty to set up Santarelli. And a penalty while we were away. So right now, it's a power play situation here for Northern Michigan. So the tripping is called. They wave off the goal, but Santarelli does draw a power play for his team.
Yes, he does.
McIntyre has stood tall tonight for Ferris State. He and the Bulldogs will be tested again. Good clear by Sherlink, who sends it down. Over. Passing it off for Sauer. And the Wildcats look to set it up behind the net. Over. Point leader the last 3 years. This Northern Michigan Wildcats now has it straight away. He'll feed Sirota. In front, man open, but couldn't gain control. Pat Bateman was there, but couldn't get it in the right spot.
Well, Northern's figured out that Ferris State is kind of almost playing man-on-man up top. So they're making the defenseman rotate out on that shooter, and they're hoping he can get it through. Now they're not shooting it the second. They're trying to make the passes we saw in the Bateman.
Over. Cross-ice pass, gets it back. 48 seconds left of the power play. Last night, Northern Michigan, 50% attack on the man advantage, 3 of 6. They could use one here, and they get one. Not sure if it was redirected or not, but either way, it's a 3-2 game. Well, we mentioned Darren Ulver led Northern Michigan in points the last 3 seasons, and here's a big reason why.
Well, back-to-back nights on the point, scoring from the point. Those are the killers for Ferris State. You don't want to give up those from the point. Last night it was 3 goals from the point. There's their first one here tonight. Darren Ulver is certainly, you know, there. Talk about father-son. There's the dad saying, "Hey, way to go, boy, way to go." What a great thing that is, and then you take it a step further. His son, Mark Jason, is coming next year. So Darren's going out, and we're coming in with Mark.
John Ulver watching his son, Darryl, get Northern within a goal.
You got off that train back there, you did 2 things you never done before. At least not at the same time. You shook my hand, and then you looked me square in the eye. Where'd that come from?
Call 1-888-349-ARMY now for a free DVD and learn about the training, education, and other benefits that come from serving as a soldier in the U.S. Army. You'll also get a free boonie hat. Are you ready to answer the call?
Oh, 先生你好，歡迎光臨，等等先。唔該晒。
Brandon.
Well, Northern Michigan has a goal waved off, but on the ensuing power play, they get the goal right back. And Bob Daniels watching his team get victimized by that goal, but now the chance to maybe jump back on top. We've got matching minors right now. Haynes and Sigmund will both head off for the moment. So 4-on-4 action here near the midway point of the second period.
This is really the first through the 2 games so far, game and a half we're in. We've seen 4-on-4 hockey. Haven't played that much this weekend, 4-on-4.
Chance in front. McIntyre had Sirota tracked the entire way.
Well, he had Sirota, and he's also got Oliver back out there again. And good coaching by Walt Kyle. He just scores a goal. Use the adrenaline to your advantage. There he walks right out in front. There's Oliver trying to go down, tries to go up top. He doesn't have much room to work with there, but I think it's good coaching. Walt Kyle gets him right back out on the ice. He's full of energy. Let the kid play.
Now another chance for Santarelli. Has it stopped? Right now, Northern getting the better of the 4-on-4 play. Bateman laying into his man behind the net. And now the Bulldogs clear. Bertoni in the middle for Conley, who's got a couple. Blocked away, and Welch retreats. Van Kulen will carry it into the zone. Snapshot there. Zanaboni got a piece, knocked it back in the air, and it's pushed out back to center ice. 4-on-4, who would you feel that would favor on paper between these squads?
Well, I think it favors Northern just because they got a little better stick skills. But, a lot of that has to just do with the momentum of the game and who's playing well. And as we saw, you come back out with Darren, and he's pretty good.
Darren Oliver, the last goal of the game. Walt Kyle and the Wildcats back within 1.
How long is this thing?
I don't know.
Now, come on, get to the good stuff.
Oh, stop. There it is.
Oh, that's it.
Wait, here it comes. Nice. Look at that.
I could watch that all day.
One more time?
Sure.
CSTV XXL is your online ticket to over 100 channels of live college sports. From USC to Auburn, BYU to Navy, you'll get hundreds of schools and more than 10,000 events, like games, press conferences, interviews, and more. No matter what sport you love, you'll find it here, live and on demand. CSTV XXL delivers the most college sports ever. Check it out online at CSTVXXL.com.
Ferris State looking for its first win against Northern Michigan since 2002, leading by 1 here midway second period after battling a tough Denver squad last night on CSTV. Wisconsin's schedule doesn't let up a bit. Next Friday night, right here, the Badgers take on the dominant Minnesota Gophers. Who'll be back at full strength after 5 of their players skated for their countries at the World Juniors. It's a WCHA showdown only here on CSTV. We talked about both these teams struggling, but they've played tough opponents well of late. Last week at the Minnesota tournament, Ferris State scored first, down only a goal against Minnesota. Again, the Gophers a little bit short-handed with those players we mentioned at World Juniors, but they acquitted themselves well. And last weekend in a series against Notre Dame, Northern had the Fighting Irish in one game, lost the lead, so they have played well at times recently. Chance here in front. Rydell couldn't get solid contact on the shot, but he'll get another crack behind the net.
Yeah, and both of those, you look at the tournament, then you look at the series over at Notre Dame, have prepared both of these teams well. We've had 2 excellent games up here in Marquette this weekend, and it has to do with playing better hockey teams. They just make you better teams, and that's a good thing for both clubs.
We've seen the expressions of Walt Kyle at numerous times tonight as his team has given up some goals at inopportune times. You can understand his issues. 9 of the losses for Northern this year have been by 2 goals or less, so they certainly have been in problematic positions throughout the campaign. Verdoni chips it in. Zanaboni stops it. TJ Miller able to knock it up the wall. Sauer giving chase. Van Kulen did just enough to slow down his man. The puck trickles to McIntyre, who covers up for a whistle.
Well, this thing here, as it went 3-2, Jason, has really started to open itself up. We're seeing a little bit more of true CCHA hockey, up and down. At the same time, the thing I like about the CCHA is they can play a grinding style, an NHL style, or they can whip it up and play just like a little bit more of the WCHA, which is more of a flow and go league. But this league can do it both ways, and right now we're seeing the flow and go out of both of these teams.
We've certainly seen some heavy hits here, highlighted by that first period haymaker from Bobby Selden on Jim Jorgensen. And Cats push it up. Couturier tried to keep it in, can't. Offside.
Well, the thing is both things have kicked up to here a little bit. Is one of the things that, a stick is utilized as an offensive tool. A lot of hockey players look at it. It's really as important that you utilize that stick as a defensive tool. And right now, both teams in transition have got active sticks, and they're stopping a lot of passes. So it's causing almost more of a ping pong game. We're going one way, then we're going the other way, and that's because of their sticks.
Another big boom behind the net. The Bulldogs escape with the puck. JT Dollinger, fourth liner for Ferris State. Not seen a ton of action tonight. We've had so much action on the power play here in the first period and a half. Chance there for Spezia. That's up into the net. And we've talked about all the craziness here in the second period. Let's take another look. Highlighted again by an early goal for the Bulldogs. Conley got it done, and then chipped in another one. And then
we get a no goal.
Santorelli has it waved off, and Alver gets it back and gets Northern Michigan back within a goal. So back-to-back goals for Connolly. Santorelli thought he had his second of the night. It's waved off, but on the ensuing power play, Alver scores, and it's a 3-2 game.
And the interesting part about that little blurb there is it's all the best hockey players supposedly on the ice, and they've been all involved in the goal scoring so far.
The Wildcats bench, certainly a guy who's been active throughout. Sigmund takes the draw for Northern. Lake Cosgrove doing work along the sideboard. Wildcats finally send it out to center ice. Sigmund dishing for Ray Canisto. Talked about the Notre Dame series. Canisto, Jacques Lamoureux both got their first collegiate goals in that weekend adventure against the Fighting Irish. And they're the wingers on this line right now with Nathan Sigmund.
Yeah, and listening to assistant coach for Northern, John Alver, he said last night that was their best line last weekend.
Alver dealing it off to Bateman, shoots, and McIntyre gloves it. Only his third game of the season, but he's got the lead in the second period, this Derek McIntyre.
When you fill someone's life with hope, you wind up adding a little more to your own. Help America's youth. Be a friend. Be a mentor. Just be there.
Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
CSTV is the place for all of your BCS National Championship coverage before and after the game is played.
That's what we do on this show, better than anyone else.
Get closer to the game than ever before with Greg, Brian, Trev, and Brian.
Can't believe I agree with you on so many picks. I'm going to have to go home and take a shower.
They know football.
They will make you work the entire way down the field and wait for you to make a mistake.
Watch Crystal Ball's BCS National Championship pre- and post-game show presented by Xbox Live. Monday at 7, only on CSTV.
Ferris State with a 3-2 lead on Northern Michigan here in Marquette. CCHA hockey on CSTV. Mr. Consistency, Darren Alver, as a freshman, as a sophomore, as a junior, leading the Wildcats in scoring. Mike Santorelli is stealing his scoring thunder so far this year. He's second on the team here in his senior season. And his dad, John, longtime pro coach throughout the minor league ranks, including the ECHL, left that to come here and be an assistant coach for his son, his final couple of seasons. And then his other son will come and play for the Wildcats starting next year.
Yeah, Mark comes next year, so the father-son thing kind of continues. And then you got John, Kyle, and Walt Kyle here as well. So his brothers on the coaching staff. So, but that's hey, that's the one good thing about hockey is keep it in family and take care of each other.
Well, at that last stoppage, matching minors right now. Van Kulen for Ferris State and Bateman for Northern Michigan. So once again, we'll play 4 aside here in the second period. About 7 minutes left to go. Connolly sends it across the ice, but no one in a maroon jersey there. And Oliver breaks back the other way. He's run off the puck nicely, and Welch finds Conley. Back to Welch. Looking to swoop in. But Manu did a good job of lifting the stick of Welch. You see Conley scamper back to the bench. And a change of personnel for the Bulldogs. And now line change as well for the Wildcats.
Conley looking for a penalty there, I think, down there when he fell down. But Kevin Hall's done a nice job refereeing this game and this whole series. And Tom Anastas and the CCHA group should be very pleased. They've done a nice job.
Even a clean effort on replay, which we have seen in other sports, sometimes takes a long time to figure out. And they get the bottom of that right away in their estimation. It was no goal waved off by Mike Santorelli earlier in this period. 1-1 after one period. Ferris State with back-to-back goals from Brendan Conley went up 3-1 and then over, making it a 3-2 game where we stand right now. Selden. As both teams go back to full strength, the matching minors run out for Van Kulen and Bateman. And Couturier brings it up, dumps it in, and another line change right now for Ferris State. Centering pass. And the Wildcats just not able to make a connection right now in the last couple of minutes. That one flipped up off the scoreboard, and we'll have a whistle. Don't forget, coming up here in the second intermission to get you back to New York, check in with the Game Tracker Live update. We'll talk with the scoring star of the Wildcats tonight and through the season, Mike Santorelli. We'll take you through a lot of crazy goings-on here in the second period of the highlights and stats and more. That's coming up at the second intermission here. NCAA hockey on CSTV. Casey Haynes sending one on net. Zanaboni makes the stop.
Well, for Bob Daniels and in the Bulldogs here, we're getting a look at certainly their fourth line with Matt Frank and Haynes and Dollinger. And one of the things that they're doing, both teams, this is a crisp, clean hockey game. There's been their big hits. We've had our disallowed goals, but it's been clean, it's been intense, and they've moved the puck extremely well. Both teams finding the tape on both sides, and they're moving it very well.
Big battle behind the net. Trying to work their way out of it are the Bulldogs. Van Kulen will fling it back into the zone. You talked about Friday night and Saturday night. Tendency for maybe play to be sloppier on a Saturday night in the back-to-back situation.
Certainly, and plus, Jason, that's coming out of a break. You're coming off a little Christmas break. You got the energy in the first weekend. The second weekend, usually you take a step back. Now, talking with certainly Bob Daniels, the Ferris State coach today, he expected a little bit of Bombers back in Couturier to kind of take a step back, which they have. But really, for this Saturday night hockey game, both teams are playing very well. They've been exceptional in transition, I think, both teams, from going from offense to defense or defense to offense.
Another hit there by Selden. Dumping down Eric Vesley of Ferris State. Bateman 2-on-1 for Northern Michigan. And it's knocked away. Case will zoom up ice for the Bulldogs. We noticed the pressure right away from Ferris State in the first period. They have continued here. It's led to some good scoring opportunities. And one more time, Sherlin, backhanded flick is wide. That one's set in front. Spezia slaps it back in the zone. Oh, that one maybe caught Zanaboni off guard. Good thing for him, it went wide. And McIntyre gloves it. Your thoughts on the goalie of Ferris State? Just his third game of the season, only his second start. On the road, your team's struggling. He's given them a little bit of a lift.
I think he certainly has. Everything a coach would want out of a goaltender coming in like this. He's done a great job. But if you look over the career, you know, he's 8-11-2 in his career, and he's played pretty well. And that's not a bad record for a college goaltender in today's game the way it is. So he's played very well. I think he's been exceptional, Jason, low. He's been very good at taking the low parts of the net away. Winless in his previous two appearances against Northern Michigan in his career, looking to change that tonight. And again, Ferris State has struggled mightily against the Wildcats in recent years. Lost 8 of their last 9 in the series, but right now they've got the upper hand tonight. Offside, the far boards, Conley in the midst of more action, and we've got fantastic action from the hard court, and it comes back tomorrow here on CSTV. Dual conference doubleheader featuring Conference USA of the Mountain West. First up at 3 Eastern, Rice and Tulane featuring the Owls double force, Lauren Neebs. Then at 5 Eastern, we head to Albuquerque, 25th ranked New Mexico, taking on Utah. Only tomorrow here on CSTV. And we've got a double tonight for Brendan Conley. 2 goals to lead the way. Lewicki the other for Ferris State. Centerarian over. The goal scorers thus far for Northern Michigan. And Case just dumps it back in. A breakout here for Northern Michigan. Sigmund slides one wide of the net. Well, both coaches holding true too as well, Jason. Matching fourth lines. We're seeing matching fourth lines for the most part. They're staying on task. Walt Kyle, as the home coach, has the last say in the matchup, but he's content with the fourth line matchup.
Now Lamoureux breaking back 1-on-2. Flipping a wrister there. No trouble for McIntyre.
You know, and two, you know, one of the things that's happened throughout the game, that's a good choice by Lamoureux there, just to get the shot on net. You never know how that's going to be handled, especially at a goaltender that hasn't played a lot. The thing that has really transpired more so in this game, when you talked about the fatigue thing, is that both teams have went off sides a number of times, and that really stymies the offense. And both teams coming into this series were having a hard time scoring goals. So that certainly nullifies a lot of opportunities that you're going to create for your team, and that's a discipline more than anything.
TJ Miller, freshman defenseman who's played well at times this year, his first year. At the point right now, sending it in front for Manu. His effort towards the net goes wide as we enter the final minute here of the second period. Verdoni trying to hook up with Lewicki. Manu deflected it, gets it back himself, and he'll lead the charge up ice. Over, 3-on-2, shot by Sirota, save McIntyre. And now we're going to have a whistle here.
We're going to get a penalty on Adam Welsh behind the net on Oliver. He took him into the boards from behind, finished the check hard, but certainly took Mr. Oliver in, and that'll be a penalty. Mr. Kevin Hall with the call. A great chance again in transition, and there he takes him in from behind. I'm not sure if Oliver, in a player's mind, embellishes it a little bit, but certainly threw him in behind in the lower part. And here's where the call was made, Jason. It was because he hit him in the lower part of the back with 2 hands on his stick. So with that force, it's almost automatic in today's college game. They're going to call that. And for Kevin Hall, our referee tonight, he's been consistent throughout the weekend with those calls. So certainly if you're the captain of the Ferris State Bulldogs, you're looking at Adam Welsh, you're saying, hey, it's a little embellished.
And Welsh headed off the ice here. Not sure if he gave a little lip to the official or not. And it's going to be a 5-minute major penalty against Adam Welsh. That may be the reason for the lip. And with only 40.6 seconds left to go here in the period, we will head to the locker room a little bit early. So that could be a huge turning point right now for Ferris State. Is this a 5-minute call, Troy?
Well, for me, I'm not at ice level, but for me sitting here, no, that's not a 5-minute. To me, there was enough space and room there where it wasn't like he was going what we would say head over heels, Jason. So it wasn't like he was going to be injured but you know, that's not a part of their process when they look at that, and that's a judgment thing. For me, though, in the tempo of the game, the way Mr. Welsh plays the game, the whole tempo of this game, to me, that's not a 5-minute major.
Well, now a huge chance in the power play, not necessarily here in the final 30 seconds of this period, but 4+ minutes to start the third for Northern Michigan. Again, they've been very opportunistic on the man advantage. 3 for 6 last night, couple of power play goals tonight, and offside here on the Wildcats. So this could be a game-changing call right now as we head to the third for Walt Kyle and Northern Michigan. The opportunity not only maybe to get the equalizer, but to get the go-ahead goal as well.
Yeah, they can score as many as they want here on this power play, and you know, whether it happens here in the last 15 or not, we're going to have a lot of time to work with the start of the third.
10 seconds here. Wildcats can't keep it in, and they'll call a hand pass there.
We've just about 4 times we've tried to take flight with this thing, and for whatever reason it's offsides or a hand pass, and that's kind of been the story a little bit in the second. But when we haven't had those, it's been an exciting period.
And Tarker pounds one on net. And it stays a 3-2 hockey game through 2 periods. Ferris State has the lead, but Northern Michigan may have the momentum. Big chance on the power play coming up here to start the third period. Bulldogs lead the Wildcats. More second period intermission stuff coming up. But first, back to the field house. Jonathan Coachman standing by.
Jason, sure do appreciate it. Big night out there, 3-2 Ferris State on top right now as we enter the second intermission. Third period in just a little bit. Well, the biggest game of the night in the CCHA, Miami, Ohio hosting Michigan State for the second straight night. The Redhawks crushed the Spartans last night 5-2 behind goals from Nathan Davis and Ryan Jones. Could they sweep the weekend series in Oxford? Let's check out the highlights. The pictures. Third period, Spartans down 1-0. Off the face-off, the puck gets knocked back to Daniel Vukovic, who risks it past Charlie Eppinger for the goal. Michigan State is in the game. We're tied at 1. Later in the third, State now up 2-1. Redhawks' Ryan Jones gets stripped by Brian Lurg. He goes the length of the ice, fights off Jones, and sneaks it past Eppinger for the goal. A great finish by Lurg. Spartan goes up 3-1. They would add an empty netter and win 4-1 and avenge Friday night's loss for Rick Comley, his 700th career win, 5th all-time, 3rd on the active list. Elsewhere, top 20 action, number 17, Lake Superior State. Well, they win a thriller in overtime. They knock off Nebraska Omaha 3-2. Well, lots more to come, including a look back at last night's Denver and Wisconsin clash in snowy Colorado. Stay with us right here. It's Game Tracker Live.
It may seem intimidating, but really, it's one of the easiest things you can ever do.
I've been practicing.
Good. You're gonna need it.
Help America's youth. Be a friend. Be a mentor. Just be there.
Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Tomorrow, watch a double dose of women's hoops as Rice takes on Tulane, followed by Utah at New Mexico, only on CSTV.
There are moments when fresh breath really matters. Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Dorfman, the dentist from Extreme Makeover. For a real fresh breath when you need it most, I recommend Breath RX gum and mints. It doesn't just cover up bad breath. Breath RX has Zytex, clinically proven to kill bad breath bacteria.
It's dentist recommended.
Breath RX, the science of fresh breath.
At last, no more cover-ups.
Breath RX gum and mints, available at these stores.
This hurts more than shopping for auto insurance.
Suck it up, champ. Esurance takes the pain out of it.
What? I need collision coverage now.
With some of the fastest quotes on the web, Esurance makes it easy to save on auto insurance.
That's why thousands of drivers switch to Esurance every week.
Esurance has got you covered in every season.
Quote by
Touchdown! If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Get your fast, free auto insurance quote. Visit Esurance.com today.
Saturday, January 6th, it's the rematch fans demanded. Samuel Peter versus James Toney. They went 12 rounds in a hotly disputed battle. Peter got the win.
The Nigerian nightmare.
Now Toney wants revenge.
He's not winning the fight. This is not over.
Samuel Peter versus James Toney 2. Saturday, January 6th. Live on DirecTV pay-per-view or as part of your regular subscription to Showtime. Don't miss it. Peter versus Toney on Channel 122.
Welcome back to New York City, Game Tracker Live. It's been a rough year for the Wisconsin Badgers. Only 9 months removed from winning the national title, the Badgers are 3 games under 500 on the season, and their schedule doesn't get any easier. Last night, they traveled to Denver, but they left their offense back in Madison, losing to the Pioneers 3-1 right here on CSTV. For more on last night's game, here are Dave Starman and Matt McConnell.
Second half of the WCHA kicked off in Denver. 3-1, the Pioneers victorious over the defending national champion Wisconsin Badgers. Welcome back with Dave Starman. I'm Matt McConnell. And really, Denver, it was a case where Denver in this one, Dave, got off to a quick start early.
They did. I thought Wisconsin at times controlled the game. Very similar to the game that they played in Wisconsin, the Saturday night game, where the ebb and flow went back and forth. However, in this game, Denver didn't relinquish the lead. Wisconsin cut it to 1 in the second period. Denver managed to score in the third period on a 5-minute major, which really spelled the end for Wisconsin.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights in this one, and we'll take a look at some of the goals that were scored. Denver got it going early.
Well, they scored very similar. Screen in front by Pakovich. Rutsager hits the high, top corner, glove side. Screen by Trotter. Butler hits the high, top side, glove side. It was 2-0. Wisconsin got it back as Likens on the power play snuck in and directed one through the legs of Benino. And here's the 3-1 goal. Elliott made a great save, and Dingle kept hammering away at it and got it.
Final look at the stats here, 35-23. The shots lopsided in the favor of Wisconsin. They did have some good scoring opportunities in this one, Dave, but it was more or less Denver making the most of their opportunities. Denver is red hot. They've won 6 straight heading into the second game of this series. If you're Wisconsin, I think it's time to pull the panic button. They had good chances in this game, Dave, but they just can't seem to get the puck in the net.
Well, don't forget, 2 players who create a lot of offense for them are coming back. One is Jack Skilly, and the other one is defenseman. He's a freshman, and that is Andy McBain, and those guys will help as the second half goes on.
Good points, and we'll see if it helps for the Wisconsin Badgers. That's it from Magnus Arena in Denver. The final again, the Denver Pioneers 3 and the Wisconsin Badgers 1.
Thanks, guys. The Badgers get another shot at redemption tonight in Denver. Can they avoid the weekend sweep at the hands of the Pioneers? Let's check out the early highlights in Denver. First minute of the first period, Wisconsin clearing their zone. They string together a couple of passes, then Michael Davies feeds Ben Street in front of the net for the goal. Just like that, it's 1-0 Badgers. We update. It's now in the first intermission. Wisconsin on top, trying to avoid the weekend sweep, 1-0 over Denver. Elsewhere, top 20 action, North Dakota and Colorado College. They're also in the first intermission. They are tied right now up at 1. When we come back, plenty more highlights from the ice, including New Hampshire and Vermont, also Quinnipiac and Princeton. We're in the second intermission right now. Ferris State on top of Northern Michigan, 3-2. Game Tracker Live.
This is you after an energy drink. Unfortunately, so is this. Why do energy drinks make you crash? 1 minute you're wired up, the next you feel worse than before. The answer is the large amounts of sugar and caffeine. That's why you should try a new liquid energy shot called 5-Hour Energy. With 5-Hour Energy, you can leave grogginess behind and sail through your day without feeling jittery, tense, or, you know. That's because 5-Hour Energy contains a powerful blend of B vitamins for energy, amino acids for focus and better mood, and enzymes to help you feel it faster. There's 0 sugar, 0 net carbs, and only as much caffeine as a cup of coffee. The 2-ounce shot takes just seconds to drink, and in minutes you're feeling awake, alert, and productive. And that feeling lasts for hours. So if your energy drink makes you crash, switch to 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later. Find out if 5-Hour Energy is right for you. It's available at these fine stores, or for more information, go to 5hourenergy.com.
They know the game.
The moment they called my name, I was in disbelief.
They love the game.
I was going to make sure that I was going to be the best player, not on my team, not in the big team, but the entire country.
They are the game. This year, the biggest names in the college sports world are coming to CSTV. Watch 1-to-1, presented by TIAA Cref, an in-depth interview with Eddie George. Premieres tomorrow at 9, only on CSTV.
More NCAA hockey on CSTV next Friday night as the Golden Gophers take on the defending national champions, the Wisconsin Badgers. Puck set to drop in Madison at 8 p.m. Eastern next Friday right here on CSTV. Let's pick it up. New Hampshire, Vermont tonight. Second period still scoreless. UNH attacking. Jerry Pollestone takes a shot. It's blocked, but the follow by Trevor Smith, 1-0 Wildcats. Moments later, Vermont would answer. Chris Myers breaking away from the pack. He takes a shot. Kevin Regan saves, but Cullen Bach is there with the backhander, tied at 1 after 2. Let's move on. Late third period, still tied. UNH possession. It's Craig Switzer to Chris Murray, who gets in the slot for the power play goal. The Wildcats would win it. 2-1 is your final. They are on fire. UNH has won 12 of their last 13 games. Let's take a look. Also, number 3 Maine, they roll tonight over UMass easily. 14-3-2 on the year. They win it tonight. 5-2 is your final. In a big ECAC-HL contest tonight in New Jersey, the Princeton Tigers have won 6 of their last 7 games and tonight play host to the 16th ranked Bobcats of Quinnipiac. Let's take you to the highlights. Looking the Quinnipiac looking to go on the road and take out Princeton. It was a little chippy early. Quinnipiac's Mark Agnew tries to lay a hit on Cam McIntyre. McIntyre shows him what a hit really is. No score early third. Jamie Bates throws the puck at Princeton, 1-0 Bobcats. Same score, less than a minute left. Bates gathers a loose puck and hits the empty netter. Bates 2, Princeton 0. Quinnipiac comes out the winner. Well, that's going to do it from New York City and Game Tracker Live. When we come back, third period action. Ferris State leads Northern Michigan right now 3-2. Enjoy the third period, everybody.
'60-inch screen, high definition. Football season is coming up. You can watch it right here. What do you think?
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're right. I don't need it.
Here at Northern Michigan, Wildcats looking for their first series sweep of the season, but they've got work to do in the third. Down by a goal to Ferris State here at home. Mike Santarelli joining us right now in this second intermission. And Mike, you got 1 goal tonight. Do you think you should have had 2?
I don't know. It was kind of a close call there. I got hauled down near the crease there, and I think I hit my shin pad, but they said it was a kicking motion, so I guess it wasn't a goal.
Mike, and going into the third here, you've got 4:20 on a 5-minute major left to try and get back into this game. What will be the plan downstairs? What will Walt tell you guys in terms of what are you going to try and generate here for your team?
Well, I mean, special teams is a big part of the game nowadays, and I mean, if you want to win series, if you want to win games, we're going to have to capitalize on both the penalty kill and the power play. So it's a huge 4-minute power play coming up here, and we got to capitalize.
Mike, thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of tonight and the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot.
Mike Santarelli tied for the lead in the CCHA with goals number 16 right here. Part of the reason the Wildcats are within one headed to the third period.
You're watching CSTV.
This season, an entirely new way to watch racing, bringing you closer to NASCAR than ever before. Introducing NASCAR Hot Pass. 5 driver channels with exclusive race coverage, live team audio between crew chief and driver, plus interactive features and real-time stats. This season, only DirecTV lets you ride shotgun. NASCAR Hot Pass. Order now and save $20 off the regular season price.
It's the rematch fans demanded. Samuel Peter versus James Toney. They went 12 rounds in a hotly disputed battle. Peter got the win.
The Nigerian Nightmare.
Now Toney wants revenge.
He's not winning the fight. This is not over.
Samuel Peter versus James Toney 2. Saturday, January 6th. Live on DirecTV pay-per-view or as part of your regular subscription to Showtime. Don't miss it. Peter versus Toney on Channel 122.
NCAA hockey on CSTV. Ferris State versus Northern Michigan is being brought to you by Nissan. And the Doghouse here in Marquette, Michigan, not the home of the Wildcats, that's the Barry Event Center where we are right here, right now. But the Bulldogs of Ferris State are doing well in the Cats' house. 3-2 lead right now. Jason Apatroy Ward. Let's take a look at what transpired in the second period. And boy, Brendan Connolly, back-to-back tallies to get the Bulldogs rolling.
Yeah, and right out front, that one there, just a great pass by Bombers back in front. Then we pick up the no goal here. That was called as a kick-in. But they come right back off the power play there, and Oliver from the point. Second one for the weekend for him.
Now the Nissan shift performance. We'll take a look at the stats through 2 periods. Again, Northern Michigan with the shot advantage, but the power plays going to be big right now, especially headed to the third. That 5-minute major called against Adam Welsh. Driving Darren Oliver into the boards, and this will have Northern Michigan on the power play here in the third.
The thing I don't like about that call there is some distance, obviously, but in my opinion, the referee in this case, Kevin Hall, was well behind the play, and I felt that Oliver embellished that a little bit. He had embellished something in the first, and if he makes that call on the goal line, you can sell it to me as a coach. If you're making that call from a hash marks up the wall, as Bob Daniels, we take a look at him, he adamantly had a nice conversation, if I could say it that way, with Mr. Hall as the period was over, and he went well into the overtime of that period on the bench alone with Mr. Hall, basically telling him he didn't agree with it because it loses, number one, his captain, number two, and there's Mr. Hall right there. And number two, it loses his best shot blocker and one of his best defensemen. And that's a big loss for Ferris. But, you know, going into this whole thing here, if Ferris is going to pull out of this funk when all odds are against him, this is the time.
Yeah, we'll certainly see. See Ferris State unbeaten when leading after 2 periods so far this season. We'll see if the Bulldogs can keep it rolling here, but they've got 4 minutes still to kill on the power play. And the Wildcats will have an opportunity here to get the equalizer. Again, they've already scored twice on the power play tonight. Manu at the point. The Sauer along the side. Back out high. Manu over. Has it tipped away. Great heading play by Eric Vesely, the senior from Woodstock, Illinois.
What a great town, Woodstock, Illinois.
The Cats right now would like Marquette to be a rockin' town if they can get a goal to make it 3-3.
Yeah, we got to look at the doghouse. There'll be some guys in the doghouse. They don't find a way to come back.
That's certainly the case. Again, both of these teams have been in the throes of a slump. Northern snapped a 7-game slide with a win over Ferris State last night. The Bulldogs only one win in their last 8. Both of these teams try to right the ship, if you will, in the second half of the campaign.
You know, and watching this series too, Jason, you know, not covering these teams earlier, you wouldn't know that they were in the midst of a slump. These are two pretty good hockey teams, and they've been really good tonight. They've moved the puck extremely well.
Tonker to Layton. 2:35 here. Not a lot of action so far in this power play for Northern Michigan. And another clear by Couturier and Ferris State.
You know, Walt Kyle's team and the Northern Michigan Wildcats are almost going with a set play with both groups where they're really overloading the right side, kicking it back to the left side, and it is not working. So right now there's almost a freedom act where you just got to play and be free and get pucks to the net, because so far through the first 2.5 minutes they haven't got any pucks to the net.
We saw that especially on those 5-on-3s in the first period where it looked like they were looking for the perfect shot.
Yeah.
And right now you wonder if they're starting to think they need to pull the trigger on a good shot right now with now under 2 minutes left in this man advantage. They've got a lot of time, but right now time's a waste.
Yeah, and they haven't generated a scoring attempt yet. You've got to get pucks to the net on the power play. They haven't done that, and it keeps going back down the other way. And this is going to mount to the frustration. And I believe, I'm sure we're going to see a graphic. Our truck guys are doing a great job, but I believe they're 0-9 when losing after 2 periods.
Well, certainly Northern Michigan, an uphill battle here in the third. And again, still looking for a shot here on this power play. Over at the point. Doesn't reach the net, blocked in front. The Wildcats regain control. The fans want to see some action from their Wildcat squad. In the slot shot, McIntyre may have got a piece of it. Manu, under a minute to go. Boy, this would be enormous for the Bulldogs to ride out this 5-minute major and the man advantage for Northern Michigan, and they are 45 seconds away from doing so.
Well, they came up big there in the first, at the end of the first, on the 5-on-3s. They need to come up big here.
Good chance there. An elevated shot from Santarelli. McIntyre had the glove up. It went off the netting, and we've got a stoppage.
Well, whether it's now or whether it's in the future, there's a good chance that we're always going to see Mr. Santarelli right over there taking the one-timer. And Mr. Siddle is always going to be in front because he's got a big frame, and he's not quite getting in front of the goaltender there. I think it goes right off his noggin. Either way, put it in the netting, young man, and not the netting behind you. So he's putting it up above, and that's a good thing for certainly Mr. McIntyre.
I believe there may be a paint chip or two on the mask on Derek McIntyre, but he'll take it right now and keep it out of the net. And we have talked at length tonight about the Ferris State penalty kill, giving up some goals, but give them their fair share of credit for holding Northern Michigan in check for a crucial 5-minute power play at the end of the second and the start of the third period.
Certainly give them just a ton of credit. They did a good job. They blocked shots. They got in the lane. Most importantly, Jason, they won all the races to the pucks.
Siddle gets dumped. Zach Pearson put him down. Vesely trying to flip it down the ice, and he flings it out of play. Ferris State weathering one storm. Can Bob Daniels and company survive here on the road?
Oh, my.
CSTV XXL is your online ticket to over 100 channels of live college sports. From USC to Auburn, BYU to Navy, you'll get hundreds of schools and more than 10,000 events, like games, press conferences, interviews, and more. No matter what sport you love, you'll find it here, live and on demand. CSTV XXL delivers the most college sports ever. Check it out online at CSTVXXL.com.
I love college sports.
I love college sports because it's so competitive.
Just the adrenaline rush you get from it is so much fun.
It's just a bunch of players playing the game because they love the game.
I love CSTV. Thank you, CSTV. Thank you.
NCAA hockey tonight on CSTV, featuring the CCHA. Ferris State clinging to a one-goal lead here in the third. The coaching staff from Northern Michigan looking on intently. Tipped in front, second chance there. Swatted away. Manu keeps it in. Again, we are back to even strength after Ferris State killed off a 5-minute major penalty against Adam Welsh. And now TJ Miller loses control.
Well, freshman player there, but you got to make that play in the third period when your team's down. They just did some great puck movement there, so TJ got to hold on to that thing, keep it in there.
Well, Walt Kyle's been an assistant coach for the Rangers and the Ducks and the NHL, head coach in the AHL, coach of the U.S. Junior National team that took fourth in 2006. You see John Olver has been an assistant coach. There you see another of the Kyle brothers, John there alongside. You know, doesn't matter what level you're coaching at, when you can't finish in a 5-minute major penalty and get a goal, it's got to be a killer right now for the Wildcats.
The great thing about that staff there is there's not a lot of panic. All three of them are veteran coaches. You know, two of them played here. Mr. Oliver was a Michigan Wolverine. They all played within the state, and they're very calm. They know exactly what they're doing. They're hoping now that the Wildcats certainly can execute.
Walt Kyle, captain of the 80 and 81 NMU teams that went to the Frozen Four. Of course, Wildcats won it all back in 1991. Right now, they're more concerned with winning this one.
Yep.
Good work by Bateman. One-handed with a stick work there to get it up in the zone. And now it'll be a penalty. Well, we talked about the 91 championship for Northern Michigan, and what a game it was. Into the third overtime, and the Wildcats able to outlast the Terriers of Boston University, and that is not in the misprint. 8-7 the final in 3 OT. An epic game if there ever was one.
Yeah, and an epic facility. You talk about the old St. Paul Civic Center with the see-through boards, and that was just an unbelievable game.
McIntyre with a sharp angle stop. The 1991 season. 38 wins.
Yeah, and you look down there, you see, ended the year on a 26 game unbeaten streak. I was the assistant coach at Denver University that year, and that was a long year for us Pioneers against the Northern Michigan team. And Brad Wawrinka down there is an All-American. I ended up coaching him in Pittsburgh in the National Hockey League, and just a tremendous player and a great, ambassador of this Northern Michigan program. Still to this day lives up in Calgary.
So Walt Kyle is coming here to his alma mater, 5th season now. And again, talked about that experience at last year's World Junior Championships, where the U.S. took fourth, but he has been around the block and had his finger at a lot of different coaching pies, if you will, and really gotten a taste of what it takes to get it done on a lot of different levels.
Yeah, I love his resume. He's got a great sprinkle at a lot of different levels, and that's what makes him such a great coach. And I think that's why this program is in such great shape for many, many years to come.
Tough bounce on the save from Zanaboni. Conley had a chance for the hat trick there, but it slipped away, and now Northern Michigan has it in the attacking end. Chip chance there. McIntyre got a piece of it, and Siddle goes flying. Looked like he collided with McIntyre in a big pile over there to the left of the Ferris State goalie.
Well, great patience there by TJ Miller. That thing gets tipped right there going to the net. And certainly they're close right there on the doorstep. That's the type of chances they're going to go. McIntyre's been good on first shots for the most part all night. look for, Northern's going to have to get a rebound goal or a bang-bang play to probably take this thing into a different level for them to score the goal.
Van Kulen shot from center ice. Glove down by Zanamoni. George trying to dump in, but this Ferris State defense has really clamped down here for the last 8 or 9 minutes.
And they've been great, Jason, in transition, and their transition ability to go from being on offense to defense, and their gap. Their gap has been tremendous. Northern's taken themselves offsides quite a bit in the game. That has a lot to do with what Ferris is doing.
Lewicki trying to flip it up out of the zone. And the Bulldogs finally send it up to center ice so they can get on fresh personnel. Fourth line out there right now for Ferris State. Dollinger, Haynes, Frank, Sauer roaming in. Matt Butcher getting chased behind the net. His dad, longtime NHL player, Garth, defenseman in the National Hockey League for nearly a decade and a half.
Yeah, his dad and the whole family still resides in Bellingham, Washington. That's where I believe he runs the rink up there.
Well, 1-goal lead for Ferris State. At what point, if you're Bob Daniels and the Bulldogs, are you starting to go into full protect mode?
Well, we're seeing a little bit of it right now in transition, but at the same time, their best defense is a good offense. They've got to get the puck down the ice, control it in the offensive zones. They'll be in better shape.
And they do right now. Rydell, blocker save by Zanamoni. Big hit there. Pearson and Collins collide. Both down, both back up.
Oh, great energy, isn't it, Jason? I mean, this is a great game right now.
We'll have a whistle and a penalty here. Power play opportunity for Northern Michigan when we come back. The hits, they keep coming. Ferris State leads by 1.
How long is this thing?
I don't know.
Now come on, get to the good stuff.
Oh, stop. There it is.
Oh, that's it.
Wait, here it comes. Nice. Look at that.
I could watch that all day.
One more time?
Sure.
CSTV is the place for all of your BCS National Championship coverage before and after the game is played.
That's what we do on this show, better than anyone else.
Get closer to the game than ever before with Greg, Brian, Trev, and Brian.
I can't believe I agree with you on so many picks. I'm going to have to go home and take a shower.
They know football.
They will make you work the entire way down the field and wait for you to make a mistake.
Watch Crystal Ball's BCS National Championship pre- and post-game show presented by Xbox Live. Monday at 7, only on CSTV.
Only the third game of the season. Doesn't look like it. Looks like a seasoned veteran here for the Bulldogs of Ferris State.
No, that 6'2", 214 frame has been great. He's been good low, especially low, and you see some shots of it here, right there. He goes down the V drop, and when he's needed to be up and be big and use his head, he's even used his head to keep the puck out. So he's been outstanding. A big penalty here just as we went to break by Matt Case there. Big penalty meeting. Big penalty for Northern. They need this power play, and they need to get some momentum off it, even if they don't score.
So freshman Matt Case in the box for 2 minutes for hooking. You see the Northern Michigan power play. 2 for 6 with 9 shots, but really not many on that last 5-minute major, which they couldn't find the net. Ferris State was able to thwart that off, and they've got to do it again from a defensive posture here as we start the final 10 minutes of the third.
Yeah, and speaking of posture, the Northern Michigan posture, actually, they're hiding a guy down the wall and taking him a little out of play. So technically, Ferris is defending a 4-on-4. They can't get the puck to the guy because of the position of the other player. So they've got to make some adjustments to try and create a 5-on-4 and create some more 2-on-1s. They haven't been able to do that here in the third period.
Help! Not a crisp pass there in the last sequence for Northern Michigan. They couldn't get it deep in the zone. Now they try to. Sirota there. Spezia bothering him, and once again the Bulldogs creep out with it. Bertoni.
Zach Pearson there was just a great individual play. And one of the things that is also transpiring here as the period goes on, Northern is really outmanning their 2-on-1 and constantly Northern, and they're able to make the clears.
40 seconds left to go in the power play, and the Wildcats can't keep it in the zone. They'll need to restart again. And you can see it right now. They are just not in sync.
No, and it's starting to wear more mentally than it is a skill issue. Obviously, Northern has the skill to do it, but you see a missed opportunity there in a pass. So again, Ferris has got the puck continually.
Now a whiff by Ferris State in the defensive end. Cats keep it in. And now cleared out by Van Kulen.
And again, they miscue. They counter with right off the miscue. They make a poor pass again, and again it's right back out of the zone. So it's nothing more for Northern to simplify. If you're the coach, Walt Kyle, tell your guys to simplify the game a little bit.
Mawicki slides one across the goal mouth, and only white shirts there to take it away. 12 minutes gone by here in the third period. Ferris State got the first goal in the first period and then the first two of the second period. And they have remained in front since. 3-2 the lead. Off the scramble here. Chance for the Wildcats. Canisto lost it off his stick. Now Sigmund in the corner. Back to the point. Miller. Intercepted by Shirley and dumped to center ice. We're at even strength. Sigmund roaming in.
Well, this is his fourth line energy out of Nathan Sigmund, number 14. They've been good all, especially the second and third.
Selden fires it on, but McIntyre had a path to the puck and hangs on. Can Ferris State hang on the rest of the way?
With .com names for just $1.99. And expert personal service. GoDaddy makes your web presence a classic. Just go to www.godaddy.com/TV.
60-inch screen, high definition. Football season is coming up. You can watch it right here. What do you think?
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're right. I don't need it.
Guys have been bumping and banging. Blake Riley getting a little attention right there. After getting a hit here in the third period, he looks to continue, and Ferris State would like to continue the way things are going. 3-2 advantage here on Northern Michigan, and they're doing it without one of their top defensemen tonight who took a seat on the bench, Chris Zarb.
Yeah, Chris Zarb took the seat and didn't play that well last night, and Bob Daniels decided to give him a little teaching lesson and put him on the pines, so to speak.
The defenseman who's a draft pick of the Philadelphia Flyers, the assist leader from his defensive position for Ferris State this year.
And there we see the graphic. You know, the thing I like about this is the fact that Chris Zarb is a pretty good player and an emerging player within the team and within certainly the D-core of all the teams in the CCHA. Bob Daniels says, I don't like the way you played last night. Regardless of what you're doing for our team overall, you're going down tonight. That's another sign of a good veteran coach. We've got two good coaches here tonight, Bob Daniels and certainly Walt Kyle.
Those three players, again, accounting for almost a third of the scoring, and now we've got a penalty here against Matt Butcher charging. And now Ferris State with a chance to get a goal that might salt this away. Pearson in the slot. Rydell got tied up. But the Bulldogs keep it in.
Still with this Ferris State power play. Look at the go to Rydell.
Tip job, and it's in. Eric Vesely with the deflection goal, and Ferris State reestablishes a 2-goal lead. Well, they've been victimized most of the last couple of nights by the power play of Northern Michigan, and touche, the Bulldogs get one back with a man advantage.
Well, Case with a great shot, and it's an unbelievable tip, certainly by Mr. Vesey coming across. You can see that they go down to try and attempt to block it. Actually, that contributes to the whole mess for the goaltender because it takes his eyes away from the puck momentarily. That thing's tipped last second. It only could go in that little area, and it found it.
Well, Vesley gets credit for the goal. And Ferris State feeling large and in charge right now, but Santarelli on the counter fires wide. Rebound effort. Didn't get it to the net. For the last time. Ferris State went up by 2. Northern Michigan got another one back quick. Here, chance for Rydell. Stopped by Zanamoni. And now Northern breaks back. Siddle. He gets popped by Case.
Well, good transition hockey on both ends. It's opened up, and Walt Kyle counters with the best player in Santarelli, and he gets right out there and generates a scoring chance. Boom, right away. Here comes Rydell back. We're back and forth again, and this is the way this league certainly can play in the CCHA. They can get it going.
Riley finds Lewicki. Roaming across center ice. Verdoni tried to slide towards the goal, but it's taken away, and here come the Cats. Wrist shot over the net from Collins. At the point, Cosgrove for Miller. Set on net, tipped wide.
All those pucks that Jason right now that are being shot by Northern have to get to the net. They have to try and create 2-on-1s. They're looking for McIntyre to give him a rebound, give him a second opportunity.
Bertoni controls. Eluding 2 Wildcats. Looking for help to clear it out. Tough, aggressive forecheck right now from Northern Michigan, but it doesn't pay off as Ferris State sends it down the ice. We will, though, have an icing call. Well, around the CCHA tonight, some finals. Michigan State rebounding from last night's defeat to Miami, beating the Red Hawks 4-1. Lake Superior over Nebraska Omaha, and Western Michigan thumping Bowling Green 5-0.
So the splits are going on in the CCHA. We're looking at one right here, right now. Obviously, Lake State coming back. They tied last night, but they've got the goaltender of the month in the CCHA, and Jakaitis, and he's probably one of the best in the country. He's got a 95 save percentage, so they answer the bell tonight. The other 2 games split, and that's what we're looking right at here in Marquette. Almost probably appropriate for the way these 2 teams have played and their records.
And again, Miami, with a win last night, pulled into a tie for first with Notre Dame. And the Fighting Irish won't be able to take advantage. They're in a non-conference situation with Robert Morris this weekend.
No, and you look down below, if Ferris can hold on to this thing, that puts them up to 8. They needed this win to get in that hunt for the 5th through the 8th position. They don't get that, they stay way down. And more importantly, I think, or not necessarily more importantly, but Walt Kyle's team really needed to get this win tonight to catapult them up into that top 8 spot.
And you talked about it, certainly the case. Some of those teams lurking ahead of them in the standings for both squads are up ahead on the schedule. So you have the chance, really, if you play well here in the second half, to get in that position of maybe getting a home game in the first round of the playoffs, getting top 4 teams with that first round bye.
Exactly. And Bowling Green, even from there, they came in the weekend with 4. They win last night, go up to 6. And here is Ferris looking at 6 going in the weekend. They're going to go home if things stay the same with 8. And so things will stay tight in the CCHA for some time, and that kind of holds true for Jason this whole season in the CCHA. Even you look at Miami tonight in Michigan State. Miami can't close the door on a weekend sweep coming out of the Christmas break, and certainly, like college hockey, I think in general, it's that way across the board.
Here at Northern, the Wildcat bench kind of quiet right now. And they understand the predicament they are in against Ferris State. Down 2 goals, and unlike last night when Ferris jumped on top, they're going to have Northern tie it right away and then jump ahead. The Bulldogs really have controlled this game throughout. Chance here. Backhanded tip shot, another chance. And it won't go in. Bateman had a look. Siddle was there, Leighton as well, and nobody can beat Derek McIntyre right now.
No, he's been the #1 star, certainly for Ferris State to this point. I realize Conley's got a couple of big goals, but McIntyre's been there every time they've needed him. He's been there.
26 saves thus far for Derek McIntyre. Just his second start of the season, and it'll be the first game he finishes this season. Was pulled from his previous start. Vesley gets taken down, and that's going to be a holding call. And Northern Michigan will send Bateman to the box, and Ferris State with a power play here and a 2-goal lead to boot.
Well, welcome to the CCHA. Zach Pearson, the leading scorer for Ferris State, says, hey, game's still got a lot of game left. I'm going to keep pounding, and that's Santarelli who had to take that. Thing I like about is he got right back up. #1, you're a great goal scorer in the league, but #2, you're always going to be a target. So if you're a target, have the ability to play both ways, and he does. That's what I like about him, and that's how he's played this weekend series.
Yeah, the penalty on Bateman here with 2:38 left to go on a rolling clock, and offside.
Now, I wish we had a tally for how many times Northern has went offsides, and it's been a major problem in that. And again, I'm going to go back to and say that that's a result of Ferris State's gap. They've done a great job. They've moved laterally very well, and they've caused a lot of problems. If you chip that by and get it into the corner, Jason, then you can start your offense lower. Northern's trying to generate their offense off the rush, and there is no room there. They've got to get in the keeper.
Northern was in good spirits after the 4-1 win last night. Ferris State looks to be having a happy ride home, in control here with a 2-goal lead with 2 and change to go. If you're both teams, are you happy with the outcome from this weekend? As it tips off the crossbar back over the net.
Well, I don't think you're happy at all. In fact, I think it sinks a little bit of Northern's confidence leaving a little bit lower, because I think they're in home ice. And they really wanted to come back, Jason, and make a statement. As you mentioned earlier tonight in our broadcast, they hadn't swept the team all year. And if you're going to be an upper echelon team or in the playoffs.
Well, they've got a chance here as Santarelli swoops in and gets the Cats back in run with 1:38 to go. Hold on.
Well, there's the big guy again, answering the bell. And this whole thing is just misfortune a little bit for Ferris State, because it gets a weird carom, goes right to his skate. And again, you see the strength that Santarelli has. He cut across to his forehand again. Almost deja vu, the goal that was disallowed. Puts himself up with his 17th of the season.
And the big thing for Santarelli, that is his 4th shorthanded goal of the year. He was tied for the top spot nationally, and that'll probably vault him into the lead. And the biggest thing right now is this squad is back within a goal. Only problem for Northern, they're still down a man for another 35 seconds. And we'll see at what point Walt Kyle decides to pull Bill Zanaboni to try to get the extra attacker on. Can't do it while they're down a man right now. 15 to go in the penalty. And now a minute left in this contest. Leighton earns the draw. And now Zanaboni comes to the bench. Will he remain there? Still 10 minutes left on the minor penalty to Pat Bateman.
10 seconds.
Excuse me, 10 seconds. 10 minutes.
10 minutes, we'd be here all night.
We would be.
It's already late. No, but here's somebody, obviously, we knew somebody was going to take the timeout. We did get the timeout Northern. They're going to have, as you said, 10 seconds here, and then they've got to find this to get to a 6-on-5, and how quickly can they do that?
Well, at this point, the situation is now. Face-off, you're down a man with 10 seconds, and you've got a face-off in the attack zone. Do you pull him now, or do you wait and play safety here for 10 more seconds?
I wait, because I think they've been good enough to get the puck in and get their chances.
Well, we only have to wait one more week to see the #1 team of the nation here on CSTV. Minnesota at Wisconsin next week. Gophers back at full strength, getting all their guys back from the World Juniors. And we'll see if they get tested in Madison next week. The Gophers and the Badgers right here. Yeah. NCAA hockey on CSTV.
Excuse me there, Jason. Tough place to play in Wisconsin, you know. Especially Wisconsin gets 3 guys back. Minnesota gets 5. It'll be interesting to see what Wisconsin does at Denver tonight. They're almost in a win position for Wisconsin. They've got to win. And you look at their national polls, obviously Minnesota and both teams are going to feel the effects of giving these guys back. They'll be more tired now than ever, actually, coming back after a week being here. I've seen that enough. They're tired. Those guys will be tired next week.
All right. Under a minute to go. Still shorthanded, but they did pull Zanaboni, and so far it's worked out on the power play at least. So it's 5-on-5 in 4 seconds. They'll be able to put the extra attacker out there for real and make it a 6-on-5 advantage. But Bob Daniels just wants to run out of here and run those final 53 seconds off the clock. Big face-off here.
Excuse me, he's hoping the bus has started.
Won by Northern, kept in. McIntyre with a huge stop. 40 seconds to go. 6-on-5 now. The net is empty for Northern Michigan. Siddle along the sidewall. Tried to send it back out to the point and nobody home. And it's creeping towards the ice. They need to hurry to get there, and they don't. And that's it. An empty netter off a missed pass for Northern Michigan, and Ferris State looks to skate out of here with a win.
Wow, you had Mr. Oliver, you know, looked at. They get a missed pass here from Siddle. He's going to the weak side point, which is wide open. He misses them on the far side. And that's Manu. And then Oliver he looks over. Oliver looks over to say, do you got it? Do I got it? And it's just long enough where they couldn't recover.
I think the one look up and hesitation cost them the ability to get back and get it.
Yeah.
And that is sort of emblematic of the night for Northern Michigan. Every time they had momentum and were close to maybe tying this thing up or more in the second period of getting back into it, something went wrong, and that time they victimized themselves with the own goal into their empty net. And that's all she wrote. Ferris State is going to snap a long string of losing here in Northern Michigan. First win in Marquette for the Bulldogs since 2002, and their backup goalie, their rarely used goalie, Tarek McIntyre, backstops them to the victory, and the Bulldogs get a big-time win. First one since November.
November 21st, that's a long time. That's where you're saying as a coach, you're going uncle every day, like, are we going to get a win and get off this? Well, congratulations to Bob Daniels, certainly as the head coach of Ferris State, and certainly Mark Kaufman as an assistant, and Drew Famulak. That's a big win, and you can see right there, John Kyle saying, my guy's looking at it like, are we going to get to it? And they didn't get to it, and he says it took our chance away at the end.
Well, McIntyre and the Bulldogs with a happy ride home, getting the series split here at Northern Michigan.
An important free offer for men with balding or thinning hair.
My hair looks better than what it did when I was a teenager.
I really think he looks amazing. I mean, just look at him.
Men, no diet, no exercise program, no new set of clothes can ever improve your confidence, your good looks, and the way women look at you, the way a thick, full head of your own real hair will. And now you can have it in just 4 weeks when you call Hair Club right now. With over 500,000 success stories, Hair Club really will give you back your own head of real hair in just 4 weeks, easily, painlessly, and affordably.
I just can't believe how much better he looks. He looks so handsome now.
Life's about having fun. It's about looking good. I mean, 80% of feeling good is looking good.
Call Hair Club now and get your own head of full, thick hair in just 4 weeks. Look younger, feel more confident, put that old swagger back in your step, and put some zip back in your love life. Call Hair Club now.
I wish I'd done it years ago. I wish I had known this was an option.
The reason the majority of men go bald is because of a sensitivity to the effects of dihydrotestosterone, which speeds up the life cycle of the hair follicles, so that instead of hairs growing for 6 or 8 years, the follicles essentially get burned out.
Call now for your confidential appointment. We'll give you a free hair and scalp analysis. We'll explain what kind of hair loss you're experiencing and show you the tested and proven solutions we'll use. Remember, there are many different kinds of hair loss, and Hair Club is the only one who can offer you a customized solution based on your unique type of hair loss and expectations. Get the head of hair you want and women love in just 4 weeks. Change your life forever. Call Hair Club now.
I only wish I hadn't taken so long. That's what I'm telling you. Do it now.
Call now for our free DVD and brochure, shipped to you in a discreet plain envelope. Hair Club has the solution you want. Call now.
Call 1-800-279-9424.
NCAA hockey on CSTV. Ferris State versus Northern Michigan has been brought to you by Xbox Live. It's good to play together. Downtown Marquette, Michigan, no big post-game celebration for the home squad tonight. Ferris State gets it done on the road here in Marquette, beating Northern Michigan for just the second time in the last 10 tries between the schools. 5-3 the final. Time now to take a look at the Xbox Live big play replay. And Brendan Connolly at 5'6", smallest guy on the ice, but man, he was huge.
He was huge. And just a great shot here. And what a great pass. All he had to do was misdirect that thing up over the top. And that's all he needed to do, and that's what he did. So, big play, as you just said, out of a little man tonight.
The Xbox Live big play replay. Couple goals in a 5-minute span for Connolly in the second period. And Ferris State keeps Northern Michigan at bay the rest of the way. Again, both of these teams now trying to fight to inch a little bit higher in the CCHA, and both playing better, as we saw tonight, than their records on the season would indicate.
Certainly does, and I think both coming off the results of playing good hockey teams last weekend, in Ferris playing Minnesota in their last game, and Northern playing Notre Dame. And they both, I think, moved forward in a direction they wanted to. Probably Walt Kyle a little disappointed in how this thing finished, only because, hey, we got a chance to win this whole thing and put a sweep on the road, or on us, for the first time all year. So I'm sure he's disappointed, but a great CCHA game.
And for both teams, again, as you mentioned, something to build off of after tough first halves of the season. Once again, the final score, Ferris State 5, Northern Michigan 3. For Troy Ward and our entire CSTV crew, I'm Jason Knapp. For more, log on to CSTV.com, the ultimate destination for scores, news, highlights, and analysis. This has been a presentation of CSTV, College Sports Television, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports. So long from the Berry Event Center in Marquette, Michigan. Ferris State with its first win here since 2002. Now time to go to the Fieldhouse in New York.